What's up, Magic fam? It's Blue here at Blue Bears Games, and for this week's videos, I will be unboxing and then upgrading the Lost Caverns of Ixalan Blood Rites Commander precon. Before I get to today's video, I want to first take a moment to let you know that if you'd like to help support my channel, you can do so in the following ways. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, share any of my content on your socials so other people can discover it, and or watch some of my many other videos yourself. In addition to that, if you're interested in ways that you can help support my channel monetarily, please read the description of this video, and there you will find a myriad of options for what you can do to help me keep this channel going. Anything that you can do to help is greatly appreciated, and I thank you for it. Now with that out of the way, let's begin. Today's video will be the unboxing of the precon, where I'll show you everything that comes in the box, including the deck, card by card. And then tomorrow I will release the upgrade guide, where I'll go over some options that I believe you should take out and then add back in to help make the deck play a little better. Once again, I couldn't read what the suggested commander that's on the back of the box did, so I had to look it up. I really missed the way that they laid out the packaging before, but it is what it is. Anyway, what I found out was that the suggested commander for this deck is called Clavileno, First of the Blessed, and this is what it does. Clavileno is 1 black, 1 white, and 1 generic mana for a 2/2 legendary vampire cleric with a weird ability that says whenever you attack, target attacking vampire that isn't a demon becomes a demon in addition to its other types, and it gains when this creature dies, draw a card, and create a tapped 4/3 white and black vampire demon creature token with flying. The first thing that I want to point out is that nowhere in that ability does it say until end of turn, so those abilities are now permanently on the chosen creature. So, going by the information on the front of the box, combined with what Clavileno does, it's obviously a vampire-themed deck with some weird ties to demons somehow. I'm not entirely sure how these two creature types mesh together, or how they built the deck, so why don't I just rip this bad boy open and show you what's in the box. And here we have the box for the black and white commander precon that is called Blood Rites, and it says here to spawn vampire minions, sacrifice to flying demons. The commander is on the back, and once again, I can't really read who that is, but I did explain who it was because I had to look it up. So let's open it up, and this time let's hope that I get a collector's booster sample pack, because I haven't heard anything back yet about the other one. So once again, here is the new counters. All the stuff is inside this little pouch here, at least the deck is, and it looks like the insert is, and then we have a pouch. Let's see what we get on this one. Woohoo, I got the actual sample pack. Yeah, the box that is horizontally aligned, it looks like, and life wheels. So let's put the box together real quick. So like I said, it's horizontally aligned, so I'm glad they started doing that. These are much better than the previous ones with the flip top. White and black, so this designates that this is for the Blood Rites deck. The life wheel is a generic life wheel. Goes from 1 to 20 on one side and 21 to 40 on the other. I know nobody cares, but I'm going to show you anyway. Here is the insert. So it looks like, yep, there it is. There's the commander. That's the big picture of the commander. On the other side, it has a little bit about the deck, and of course, extra commander rules for Magic. So throw that to the side. We'll actually open up a collector's booster sample pack for this video because it came in with one. So I can't really tell you if it's going to have anything good or bad in it because I didn't have another one to go by, but most of the time they're bad, so let's take a look. Obviously we zoom. Alright, first card is Terror Tide in a extended art and foil. And then we have Nick Hansel. I don't think I can read the rest of it, but you know who that is. So, I mean, they're cool looking. Monetarily speaking, I don't know. But I'll have it up there for you. You're here for the deck. I'm hoping that this one, it does. It has a ripcord, so I can pull it open, unlike the last couple ones. So that makes it easier. And then we split the deck, and I'll show you everything inside. Alright, so I already went over what this does for you. So we'll skip that, and we'll go to the second suggested commander for the deck, and that is Carmen, Cruel Sky Marcher. So this is a 5 to cast 2/2. It has flying. Whenever a player sacrifices a permanent, put a +1/+1 counter on it, and you gain a life. Okay. And then whenever it attacks Return up to one target permanent card with a mana value less than or equal to its power from your graveyard to the battlefield. No finality counter. So that means that you can do it over and over. I like that version of Graveyard Recursion. Alright, so the rest of the deck. We have Martyr of Dusk. This is a reprint. Return to Dust. Swords to Plowshares. Good removal. Blood Artist, naturally, because this is vampires. Bloodline Necromancer. Don't recognize this one. This is a 5 to cast 3/2 vampire wizard with lifelink, and then whenever it enters the battlefield, you may return a vampire or wizard creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Dusk Legion Zealot. That's definitely budget. Falconwreath Noble. So we're looking at some aristocrats features in here. Obviously, it's black-white, so that's most normal. Indulgent Aristocrat. Oath-Sworn Vampire. Village Rites. Viscera Seer, so some sacrifice outlets. Bartolome del Presidio. And I'm not sure I said that right, but whatever. That is a reprint too. Cruel Celebrant. Some good cards in here for a basic Aristocrats deck. Etchings of the Chosen, so some Anthem-style effect there. Legion Lieutenant, a Lord for your vampires. Arcane Signet. Commander Sphere. Heirloom Blade, this is a reprint as well. Mind Stone, cool picture for Mind Stone. Orzhov Signet, not a big fan of the signets. I've already expressed that before. Soul Ring, Swiftfoot Boots, good, I was running out of them. Talisman of Hierarchy, so some good mana rock there. Wayfarer's Bauble, Bazooka Bog to blow up somebody's graveyard. Command Tower, Myriad Landscape for some deck thinning and basic land searching. Orzhov Basilica. Charismatic Conqueror. I do not recognize this card. So this is a 2 to cast 2/2 Vampire Soldier with Vigilance, and whenever an artifact or creature enters the battlefield untapped and under an opponent's control, you may tap that permanent, they may tap that permanent, and if they don't, you create a 1/1 white vampire creature token with lifelink. Alenda's Hierophant, another one that I don't recognize. 3 to cast 1/1 Vampire Cleric with Flying. Whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on it. And then when it dies, create a 1/1 white Vampire creature token with lifelink where X is its power. Sounds kind of like Alenda. A little bit like Alenda. March of the Canonized. 2 white and X. It's an enchantment, so this stays on the battlefield once it's cast. It says when it enters the battlefield, create X 1/1 white Vampire creature tokens with lifelink. That's pretty cool. And then at the beginning of your upkeep, if your devotion to white and black is 7 or greater, create a 4/3 white and black vampire demon creature token with flying. No lifelink. Devotion means you count the pips on the battlefield, and if you have 7 or more of, on this one, black or white pips on the battlefield, you get to create the demon, the vampire demon. Redemption Choir, so 4 to cast 3/3 Vampire Cleric with lifelink. And Coven, and this one's Coven says whenever it enters or attacks, if you control 3 or more creatures with different powers, return target permanent card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. I do like the graveyard recursion on this one. Much better. Much, much better. Dusk Legion Sergeant, so this one's a 2 to cast 2/2 Vampire Soldier with Menace, and an ability that says you can pay a black and a generic and sacrifice it, and each non-token vampire creature you control gains Persist until end of turn, and this is what Persist does if you need to read it. It basically is a graveyard recursion ability. Master of the Dark Rites is a 1 to cast 1/1 Vampire Cleric that you can tap him and sacrifice another creature to add 3 black mana, and then you can only spend that mana to cast Vampire, Cleric, and or Demon spells. Order of the Sacred Dusk. Don't recognize this one either. So it is a 8 to cast 5/5 with Convoke, so other creatures you control can help pay for it. That has Flying, Lifelink, and Haste. Exalted, and other vampires you control have Exalted. That's actually not bad. It's a very high casting cost, but not bad. Promise of Aclazotz. I think that's how that's said. It's a 2 to cast enchantment, but it also has an adventure. So there are 2 parts to this. So as the adventure, it's a 3 to cast sorcery that says you sacrifice a non-demon creature, and if you do, you create a 4/3 white and black vampire demon creature token with flying. As the enchantment part of it, it says at the beginning of your end step, you may sacrifice a non-demon creature, and if you do, you populate. Populate means create a token of another. That's a copy of another token. Austere Command. It's removal. Kindred Boon, don't know this one. So it's a 4 to cast enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, you choose a creature type. And then for, it looks like 2, and it looks like you can do that anytime you want. You put a divinity counter on target creature that you control of the chosen type. And each creature you control with a divinity counter on it has indestructible. That's actually pretty good. Maverin Fane, Dusk Apostle. 3 to cast 2/2 Vampire Cleric. It says whenever one or more non-token vampires you control attack, you create a 1/1 white vampire creature token with lifelink. These Lost Caverns of Ixalan Commander precons are pretty good. Radiant Destiny, that is a reprint. Welcoming Vampire, that is a reprint as well. Bloodghast, not a bad one. That's a pretty good one. Blood Tracker, I believe this is a reprint, but I'm going to read it anyway. It's a 4 to cast 2/2 flying vampire wizard that you can pay a black and 2 life to put a +1/+1 counter on it. And then whenever it leaves the battlefield, draw a card for each +1/+1 counter on it. So that's one of the ways that they put some card draw in here. Butcher of Malakir, Champion of Dusk. I wonder if the repeatable Champion of Dusk is in here. Cordial Vampire, Crossway Troublemakers. Dam. I needed one of these because I have a deck that needs a Dam, and I didn't have one, so now I have one. Draina, Liberator of Malakir. It's a good reprint. Exquisite Blood. I'm actually really shocked that they actually put this in a precon. It is the only card in the game that does this, so if anybody's trying to figure out if there's another way to get this effect, there is not. Glass Cast Heart. New Blood. Don't recognize this. 4 to cast sorcery as an additional cost to cast this spell. Tap and untap the vampire you control, and then you gain control of target creature, and change the text of that creature, replacing all instances of creature type with vampire. Cool. So if you steal somebody else's Lord, you can change it to Vampire Lord. Deathhawk Scavenger. Kind of like that card. Olivia's Wrath. Don't recognize this. It's a 5 to cast sorcery. Each non-vampire creature gets -X/-X until end turn, where X is the number of vampires you control. That's pretty good remove on a deck that's specifically a vampire kin deck. Alright, Pact of the Shepherd. 3 to cast sorcery. Choose a creature type. Target player draws X cards and loses X life, where X is the number of creatures that they control of the chosen type. Patron of the Vein. That is a reprint. We're getting through this. Back half of the deck, Sanctum Seeker. It's a really good vampire for a vampire kin deck. Timothar, Baron of Bats. Don't know this one. 6 to cast 4/4 Vampire Noble. It has Ward that your opponent must discard a card to target it. And whenever another non-token vampire you control dies, you may pay 1 generic mana and exile it. And if you do, you create a 1/1 black bat creature token with flying, and it gains when this creature deals combat damage to a player. Sacrifice it and return the exiled card to the battlefield tapped. Okay. Twilight Prophet, there it is. That's the one I was talking about earlier. That is repeatable card draw. That's a really good card. Yeheni, Undying Partisan. Alenda. Okay, so they put an Alenda in here. Wow, they really did. You know, for a non-master set, these precons, for being standard set precons, are really good. Sauron, Lord of Innistrad. Wow. Letter End. Great removal. Vona, Butcher of Magan. I don't know if this is the one or not. Yep, this is a reprint. Blade of the Blood Chief. Isolated Chapel. They even put in there the good budget dual lands, huh? Line Shadow Snarl. Temple of Silence, minus the Temple, of course. Vault of the Archangel. Voldaren Estate. Windbrisk Heights. Path of Ancestry. Rogue's Passage, Secluded Courtyard, Tainted Field. Wow, they really did a good job with this one. Temple of the False God, that can be removed. Unclaimed Territory, Plains, and I'm sure Swamps, obviously. The thick version of the Commander, as you can see, it's a little bit thicker than a normal card. I don't know if you can actually see that in the video, but it's a little thicker and doesn't bend very well. And then, of course, we've got tokens, and I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of vampire, 1/1 white vampire tokens with lifelink, so got them, bunch of them. Some bat tokens, blood. We got a Sorin, Lord of Innistrad emblem, City's Blessing, and then on the other side, more 1/1 vampires with lifelink. And then the demons. And that, my friends, is what is in the Lost Caverns of Ixalan Blood Rites Commander precon. First things first, this is another great precon from Wizards. They really upped the quality of their precons in the last year or so, it seems. I'm highly impressed with this and the pirate deck, and I can't wait to see what the other ones have in store. So yes, this was in fact a vampire-themed deck, and yes, it did have this weird tie-in to demons, but without any actual demons. It did have all the usual things you expect from a vampire deck. Some graveyard recursion, done the right way, life-draining abilities, and sacrifice shenanigans to name a few. It even had the more expensive half of Baby's first combo, which was quite shocking. There's just so much going right here that it's hard to think it needs an upgrade guide, but no deck is perfect, and I will still be doing one, so be sure to check back tomorrow for that. So that's all for this video, but if you're looking for more content to watch, please go browse my channel and take a look at some of my many other videos. I know for a fact that you'll find some that you like, and please check back tomorrow for that upgrade guide. Before you go, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. Have a great day, and I hope to see you all tomorrow.